Dude, I am so fucking sorry. The guys started doing the lift thing and I just fucking panicked. Did you tell them about the system?
They don't want to hear about big money, Moose. I'm grounded. Banned from the track and banned from Iowa.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Hi everyone, this is Rock Hard Caucus, our 216th episode. I'm sitting in a room right now with a member of a city council, a sitting elected official, and before I started recording this, I was trying to think if I've done that before, if I've interviewed somebody who actually holds office while they're holding office. I think I have, over the phone at least. But it's usually just been like candidates for office. Some of whom have won.
Yeah.
So I don't have a completely losing track record for the people that I interview. But this is going to be a little bit of a different episode, I think, because we're talking about. Well, I don't know. Let's just introduce you.
Great.
All right.
Cool.
All right. We're here with Laura Bergus, who's on the City of Iowa City's City Council. I try to use
Put
the
at least
full
one
name.
city in there.
I think I got 3.
Yeah,
right. That's how I
correct.
usually say it.
Yep.
The City of Iowa City's City Council.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to get a 4th city in? Do you think?
I don't know, but thank you for putting the 3rd. A lot of people don't. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Laura, thanks for being willing to come on the podcast. I know that we maybe have a bit of a reputation in the Iowa City City Hall, the City of Iowa City's City Hall. But I feel like enough time has passed that maybe some of the dust has settled and people who sit behind the dais in that room maybe are not as worried about what's being said on this program. Maybe you would know better than me. I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope that people aren't talking about the podcast in City Hall anymore.
Not in the same way as we were in 2022, but
Okay.
I've been waiting for my invitation since then, so thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that I was I was kind of, I don't know. I think I'm nervous to talk to you.
Sure. I'm really intimidating.
Yeah, that's how I feel anyway. But yeah, I knew you were interested, but I just felt kind of nervous about making it happen. But something happened this week that helped me get my nerve up.
Nice.
I felt like we could probably benefit from maybe a kind of long form conversation with you about what's going on right now. The thing that happened was I attended a city council meeting on Tuesday. We're recording this on September 18th. That's the day, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Thursday.
Yes, 18th. So yeah, that was just 2 nights ago.
That was
wow,
just
a
2
lot
nights
has
ago.
happened.
Yes. In the last not even 48
in
hours.
fact,
Yeah.
There was a development seconds before we started recording. But at this meeting, you were considering, or the council was considering, whether you should enter into a partnership with Johnson County to begin the process of building a new facility that would primarily be a new county jail, but would also contain a new police station.
Correct.
For
And the
Iowa
sheriff's
City.
department offices. Yep.
Sure,
Those
yeah.
3 functions. Yeah.
Okay, first question. Are the sheriff's offices separate from the jail right now?
No.
That's okay. I didn't think so.
They're
All
on
right.
the first floor of
Okay.
that building.
Yes. I know that they don't like their offices right now. They're not satisfied
Right.
with their current office space, which is part of the proposals they put forth for the new jail contain much nicer offices.
Correct.
I've seen.
Yes.
So at that meeting, a lot of questions came up for me because I haven't been closely following all of this, and
Sure.
the proposal to make this a joint venture between the city and the county was a fairly recent development, right?
Well, that's what's so weird and why I have been getting sort of increasingly upset about this until culminating in this week. But back on July 10th, 2024, there's a Board of Supervisors meeting that's worth your time to watch. But
what was the date? Say again.
July 10th.
July 10th of
2024.
last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
last year.
Okay.
So more than a year ago, like 14 months ago. And at that meeting, I brought up to the board, and the sheriff was there, like, hey, I hear from our city manager that we're having conversations about the possibility of essentially joining, the thing, the thing that we voted on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then I was attending the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, or CJCC, meetings over the last year, and their timeline had like continuously said they needed to talk with Iowa City and then didn't. I think there were meetings happening between like our police chief and the sheriff and the city manager maybe, but like it never came to council.
Okay.
And yeah, then the August 14th of this summer CJCC meeting, they voted to, that whole committee voted, which the entire Board of Supervisors is part of that committee, and they voted to formally ask Iowa City if they would join. And they put a deadline of forming this local authority, which we could go as far down the rabbit hole as you want to go on what this local authority thing is like.
Is that the 3-person thing that was being discussed? Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a deadline on that.
Well, the CJCC put a deadline of October 1st. So yeah.
Okay, that did come up on Tuesday. The absurd deadline.
Yeah. And so I immediately, very angrily texted John Green and was like, what's this deadline? Like, I've been going to your meetings, and like we have 2 meetings between August 14th and October 1st.
Yeah.
Like, the council doesn't meet outside of those 2 meetings typically.
Right.
And like, how are we supposed to get input from our constituents? How are we supposed to let people know what's going on? Like, I was just really pissed. And, I don't remember exactly how he responded, but it was basically just like, we're doing the best we can and we're in a hurry now. And it's like, okay.
I'm glad that this came up early in our conversation, because I was feeling like a contradiction on Tuesday. Those on the council who voted in favor of this, or in favor of proceeding with the process of pursuing this or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a vote to like start
Actually
building.
do it.
It
right.
was a vote to like start the process or whatever. The people who voted for it were stressing that you had a lot of time. That this is actually just the beginning of a long process. We have plenty of time to back out, plenty of off-ramps, they said a lot. And I was under the impression that the county wants this done as quickly as possible, and that they were putting pressure on everyone else to make this happen quickly. And that deadline being a part of that. Yep. So that was just a strange, like, it didn't match up what I was hearing. At the August 14th
CJCC meeting, like, I actually stood up and was like, hey guys, we only have, we don't have a schedule in which we can probably accommodate this, because they'd set the October 1st deadline. And then we had this joint meeting with the county on the 10th, I think, or whatever that Wednesday was. I believe it was September 10th. And that was the meeting that resulted in more questions than answers, in John Green's words. And our only meeting before October 1st then was the following Tuesdays, was like 5 days later.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, it was incredibly rushed and frustrating. And the board said they didn't understand the cadence of our meetings.
The board being the county
board of supervisors,
They didn't understand the cadence of the city council's meetings.
Right.
Okay. Can you remind me what CJCC is?
Yeah, the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee.
Okay, right. I have not been watching those meetings, but I've heard snippets of mostly like outrage.
I was gonna say they're kind of infuriating.
Yeah. Okay. So you said that John had more questions than answers after that September 10th meeting, and that was a big day for a lot of reasons. What were his questions?
Well, I think council members at that meeting raised a lot of questions, and it got to a point where I threw my pen down was when V. Fix My Eyes said, basically in response to one of many questions, you just, like, it really comes down to trust.
Oh,
and so I made clear, like, that's not gonna cut it when we're talking about this issue and a relationship with the county and between the city and the county. Like, during
that's asking to trust a lot of different people.
On a topic that's like really, really important to the community. And like, Oliver said it well, and I don't remember when he said it, but at one of these meetings, he said it really would be different, like if this was a rec center, right? But we're talking about like putting people in cages and funding it at a level that I don't think ever funded a project in Iowa City at,
Yeah. This is 110 million was the number I heard.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, I'm sorry, people will correct you and say 106, but
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, what's 4 million here or there?
Well, the 4.5 million of the $10.2 million in savings was a air-conditioned parking area for the Iowa City Police Department. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I also did not understand there was a lot of talk about, that's a big number, 110 million, but that's 10 million less than what it might cost to build two separate buildings.
Yeah.
So there's a savings of 10 million. You're getting a great deal. But also, I heard that thing about the parking area being like 4.5 million.
Yes, of the 10.2 estimated savings. And it's interesting, like another point that I'd made to folks was just like, for departments, it's not that unusual across the country for like a sheriff's department, a police department to be housed in the same facility. That has happened in other places. And it's usually because it's in cities where like the police department and the sheriff's department have separate booking, areas, separate holding cells, separate, like lots of sort of special purpose areas or things that they're doing that are duplicated.
Yeah.
And this was not that at all. The things that they were going to save on in duplication were, conference rooms, meeting rooms, maybe locker rooms, and parking. And that, along with a lot of other reasons, I think nothing there was compelling to like force these two things to be together.
Sure. Okay. I wanted to say this at some point. Laura, I'm not intending to bait you into talking trash about your colleagues while we're recording this podcast.
Are you sure?
I mean, that's not my intent. You are free to do that if you like. But I am probably going to bring up some points of conflict between you and other counselors. And I have probably made my feelings clear on some of these people in the past. But I'm not, I don't intend to like make your job harder.
No worries. I'm always accountable to what I say, and we're recording right now. So no worries.
You're on the record.
Absolutely.
So you have not shied away from the title of abolitionist.
Correct.
Before, which I've seen that come up at least a few times in these meetings, that some of your fellow counselors do not see themselves that way, do not identify that way. And so they often, I don't know, that the conflict between abolitionists and whatever, however they think of themselves, I guess they try to portray themselves as more like pragmatic, I guess. And an example being like when you had budget amendments to divert funds from the police department to other areas. That's when that's come up before that I can recall.
Yes.
And where was I going with this? So where I felt that this kind of conflict came up on Tuesday was, I feel like you have very rational and reasonable objections to the plan, the process that's been going on. But Sean Harmson in particular, during his comments on Tuesday, seemed to stress the need to have a jail itself.
Yeah.
This is a necessary building. And could I maybe play a clip of him speaking?
Sure.
Okay. Because I felt like this was enlightening. Enlightening about these two maybe contradictory positions on the council.
Kind of a part of this, but kind of a side part to what the city's being asked to do. Also, one thing I do want to point out, just as I would not be doing my job as somebody who used to be a journalist and loves to make sure that we double check every claim that's made. You can actually check online. There's an updated list of the jail roster and what people are.
Before he gets into this, a little bit of context. There were a lot of public comments on Tuesday. I believe every single one of them speaking out against the joint facility.
Yeah.
And a point that came up at least a couple times was that most of the people who end up in the county jail are like not there for very long. They're held for fairly frivolous things like public intox, stuff like that. So he was pulling up the jail roster to dispel these notions. I guess because in his mind that was those public comments were trying to make the point that, like, you know, this isn't such a serious issue. Like, the jail itself is holding people for reasons that are maybe not that important. All right, so back to Sean Harmson.
Currently waiting for the charges they're waiting for. And it's an interesting thing because, while I completely agree with diversion on nonviolent crimes that don't harm people, that aren't a threat to the public, as I went through just like before this meeting today, you know, just to kind of keep in mind, if we are not doing this because we think we're not doing efforts of diversion, which there are many efforts of diversion, I'll just read through a few of these. There's 86 total, but I'll just take this, just a couple. And I'm not picking and choosing. I'm just going in order. Criminal mischief, third degree, with assault to intent to inflict serious injury. Third offense, OWI, with willful injury, causing bodily injury, and multiple charges, including the same person, assault, use, display of weapon. Violation of probation. So violations of probations or parole sort of tell me this is somebody who could be outside of the jail and has violated those terms. So they have been given a chance and went against those terms.
I think you could hear me. I think you could hear the noise I made. That was me going.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have like maybe 30 more seconds of that.
You can keep going if you want.
But yeah, we can pause there for a minute. Laura, your background is in law.
Yeah.
You're a practicing lawyer, right?
I am.
So how do you feel about the way that this is being presented?
And I'm sure you could see it on my face that night. And I have not spoken to Sean directly. I intended to immediately after the meeting. Well, first I thought about saying something, just stopping him right then and saying something during the meeting. And I decided not to do that. Oliver is very good at being like, chill out, Laura, you're flipping out.
Oh, this is interesting. I think people will find that very interesting, that he's actually he's the moderating force.
No, I definitely it is not roles that I think either of us would have expected to find ourselves in. But yeah, instead of me being like the reasonable one while he is more radical, I feel like I can actually express a little more intensely some of my emotions, and then he can just like very calmly white man it, and people are like, yes, that what Oliver said.
So you make a good team.
Yeah, we do. But anyway, Sean, it is so abhorrent to me to say something like, well, that person had their chance, so they should be locked up. I just know, probation, and I want to be clear, I don't practice criminal law. I did at the beginning of my career. But something like probation violation can happen to anyone. Like, I mean, the kinds of things that people get put on probation for. And so often people take plea deals that end in probation when they are factually innocent, because it is so much easier than pushing a case to trial. Trial is just not
easier
feasible.
And often financially a better option too.
Definitely. And less risky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then it leaves people vulnerable to, something very, very, very minor being a probation violation. I participate in expungement clinics. So, I also see a lot of like the driving while barred or driving while suspended, like people who get picked up for going to work or taking their kid to school or going to the grocery store and end up in our county jail. And those are not folks who need to be incarcerated.
Yeah, right. And I guess sort of an overall thing that I kind of want to get across in this is that you accepting and, proudly holding the label of abolitionist does not mean that you are like an unreasonable, like 100% radical, like, no compromises ever type of person. It just means that you have this vision in mind, and you actually, have principles and, act upon them. That's kind of what always irks me about those moments in those meetings where like, well, you know, you're the abolitionist here, so like obviously you're going to vote that way, but me, I'm a much more reasonable, pragmatic individual. I'm more thoughtful than you.
Right.
So I will be voting in favor of whatever the police want.
Yes. Yes.
Because I know that we need them.
Because I can't imagine a world in which we don't.
Right. Let me let Sean finish,
Okay.
and then we might have more comments on that. And I will be editing this afterwards. It's not just going to be my phone speaker into a microphone.
No worries.
No, I know that you were judging me for that. But
third-degree theft in violation of probation, another violation of probation, domestic abuse assault, escape, harassment, first degree, false report of indictable crime, malicious prosecution, false report of indictable crime to law enforcement, operating a vehicle, OWI, child endangerment, domestic assault. So I'm seeing a lot of another domestic abuse assault, third or subsequent offense. So I think we have to keep that in mind, that this is a necessary facility. So, and that's actually, some of that is up to the county to make their case.
Some of that is up to the county to make their case.
Turns out, all of it.
Yeah, as it stands.
Sorry,
I guess
spoiler. Sorry.
Yeah. And the fact that we're going to be releasing this podcast a couple days after it's recorded means there may be even more news.
Wow.
By the time you're listening to this. So yes, all of those charges being listed are evidence that a county jail is a necessary facility, and that then means that we also need to build a 9-figure new building to make a bigger jail with greater capacity.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's not the progression of the argument that I would follow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, my thoughts when I was sitting there watching this happen was those are charges, not convictions.
What? What? No.
Many of those charges will not end up sticking.
Hang on. Because, the Constitution is like very tenuous right now. But as of when we're recording this, you are still innocent until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
So pretrial custody means you are legally innocent.
Yeah, sure. And I imagine that maybe the fact that people are held in confinement, their freedom is taken away, just for these charges being placed upon them, might factor into like how you feel about prison in general.
Wow. Yeah, it could. It might. Yeah, it might. Like taking someone's liberty is, I don't know, it's kind of a big deal.
Right. And as I was saying, a lot of these charges are not going to stick. They're not going to end up being convictions.
No. And it completely misses the every place, whether it's Johnson County or anywhere else, the way the system works is overcharge, plead down.
Exactly. We place these charges on them because we want to lock them up for a period of time.
Right.
Knowing that in most cases the charges will not end up actually being convictions. Correct. So
are you saying as a journalist he should know that?
I think so. And I just don't think that that's a good defense of his position to vote for this.
I agree.
Yeah. And the framing device of I used to be a journalist is kind of makes it harder to listen to.
My favorite moment with Sean was when I first got my courage up to speak about reducing the police budget, and he responded to my comments by saying something like, as a rhetoric professor, I really appreciate the oratory I just heard, which was not at all patronizing to me.
Definitely not a backhanded compliment. The way you said that was very compelling. The content, however, the man does love words though, and speech, and
he has a really good what I call voiceover voice. Yeah, like when he reads a proclamation, listen to his voice. It's that radio.
Yeah. Maybe we should just set the what happened since the meeting, just so that we have the full context for anyone listening who's maybe not following this closely. The city council did vote to proceed. It was a 4-3 vote. Laura, Oliver, and Mazahir voted no.
Correct.
And Josh, Mo, Sean Harmson, Bruce Teague, and Megan Alter all voted in favor of this thing, this to proceed with exploring the joint facility. The next morning, or no, this was this morning. Or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. Yesterday
my
morning.
perception of time is way out of whack. So yesterday morning, the sheriff of Johnson County, Brad Kunkel, he wrote this letter to
Wait. First.
Oh, did I miss something?
Yes. Yesterday morning, there was a 4-hour Board of Supervisors
this
meeting
was after
in
that
between.
Meeting. Right. Yes.
Yeah. So there was a lot of conversation at the Board of Supervisors meeting where they were supposed to decide on the correct, air quotes, number of beds for the new jail.
Right.
Through that entire conversation, they said nothing about it being a joint facility, which was fascinating to me.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the capacity that they were discussing was like double of what they have now. Is that? I don't know.
It really depends how you want to count it.
Okay.
Right? So physically in the jail, they could house 92 people now. Their effective capacity is something like 65. It was built for 46.
Yeah.
So Mandy's number was 92. V's number was 100 plus shelling out, like building out a shell for 20 more. Rod and Lisa were both at 140, which was the Shive Hattery recommendation.
Okay.
And John was at 120.
Okay. So they are functionally at like around 60 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you're
probably around double or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is crime increasing in Johnson County, Iowa?
No. Although sitting in that room with like a full, row of sheriff's deputies behind me, this is the Board of Supervisors yesterday, I was like, if I'm them, I just start arresting a lot more people. Like, how else do you make your case?
Yeah.
I'm not actually that cynical, but
I hope they're not going to do that. I don't know.
It's like, how do you make crime go up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure that no crime goes unpunished.
Like you said, most charges don't stick.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And what I learned in law school was one of my favorite things from like first day criminal law class was each of us violate the law something like 50 times every minute, like it's absolutely absurd. So like, and we know that like currently the Iowa City Police Department, I think it's not a policy, but like, if we're going to charge someone with possession of cannabis, that's usually a pretext for something, right? Like it's a tool to be able to get to some other
more serious
charge.
crime.
Yeah. Or to get access to something.
To investigate further.
And that's totally legal. I'm not saying that's like, shady. It's all within.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. Tangent.
Yeah, well, actually, that made me think about something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. Are you aware of this Flock Safety automated license plate reader camera thing?
I am.
Yeah, I'm fighting with my city, Coralville, right now about that. But something I read recently was about the CEO of that company at something Langley. Mm-hmm. I remember his last name was Langley because that was funny, like Langley, Virginia. But his vision is like a world without crime. And he wants to get there by increasing like the, fidelity of where all these cameras are in the country. Oh, so it's like
he's never watched Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's build up this mass surveillance infrastructure and basically, Minority Report, like you have enough of these cameras pointed at enough places geographically, you can like stop crimes before they happen, and that's kind of like his utopia.
It's terrifying.
And what you just said about like, we're all violating the law like all the time. And it's definitely a choice, like which of those crimes get actually prosecuted and like who gets,
why
who do we pay attention
is a
to?
Double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, right. Like, you listen to this right now, you've probably broken the law today and, law enforcement for whatever reason, like they're not paying attention to you right now. Mm-hmm. But
unless you're hearing this in the jail, seems unlikely.
Yeah. But it's pretext. Like they could probably get any of us on a number of things at any time. So that's incentive to not stick your neck out, I guess.
Correct.
Don't get on the radar, or they might find a reason. So after the meeting,
okay, sorry. There was a 4-hour meeting in which they did not come to a decision on the number of beds, but they said they're going to talk about it again next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m.
Okay, but they also were not discussing the results of the previous night's city council meeting.
They mentioned it because
Okay.
they'd gotten notice of it.
Yeah.
And then they also talked about how they were talking a lot about what the bond, like we could bond for this, bond for that, what the language would be. We can make sure it's this, which
Okay.
was kind of missing the point of if there was a joint authority, it is that commission, those three people who set the bond language, which I don't think ever got into their brains.
Yeah. Let me read this, and then we can discuss the specifics of that a little more. So after that meeting, after your meeting, and then after the Board of Supervisors meeting, the Sheriff, Brad Kunkel, wrote this, and it's addressed to the Board of Supervisors. When we started down the exploration path of a joint facility, we did so for three overarching reasons. Location, voter approval threshold, very interesting that he mentions that explicitly, and meeting critical infrastructure needs of both entities. The position of the county has always been based on good faith and due diligence in a process of significant consequence affecting the entirety of the citizens we serve. I appreciate that Board of Supervisors voted to formally ask the City of Iowa City to deliberate this possibility and hosted a public meeting of the plenary bodies. Is that right? Plenary?
I don't think it means what he thinks it means.
But did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I wasn't accusing him of being dumb. I was doubting myself. A public meeting of the plenary bodies to discuss the matter further. Now that the joint meeting has passed and the Iowa City Council has had the opportunity to discuss the matter in a subsequent open meeting, and I'll remind you, a meeting where they voted to proceed, I do not see a viable path forward for a joint facility, and any support I had has ended. I believe it is in the best interest of Johnson County and the public to pursue a standalone sheriff's office and jail facility. Okay, so he has backed off of his support for a joint county and city venture. But that's weird because the city voted to proceed. So why did he decide he doesn't like it anymore?
I don't know. Apparently there was a Gazette article today. I haven't read the whole thing.
No, yeah, I didn't have a chance really to read it because...
But he apparently held a press conference today.
Oh, shit, I didn't know
according
there
to
was
the article.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I missed that too. So, yeah, this is Megan Woolard's piece in the Cedar Rapids Gazette from literally 18 minutes before we started recording. Johnson County Sheriff, Iowa City Council's comments prompted decision to end support of shared law enforcement facility. And then there's a little poll quote from him. I have to think about some of the positions and statements elected officials have made. And I'm here with one of those elected officials right now.
Ugh.
I've been thinking about the statements that elected officials made as well. This may be speculation, but what do you think? Which comments do you think made him reconsider?
Before hearing that or before reading that article, I was kind of speculating that it was maybe more about the location, right? Like the
mayor said that he was very opposed to the proposed location of this facility and that he would not vote to build it if that remained
correct
the location.
And since you had three counselors who didn't want the joint facility, plus the mayor who didn't want it there, if that location was really something the sheriff was interested in, I think calling it and saying, nope, we
Not
gotta
gonna happen.
because their timeline is tight and they need to. John Green at some point said to me that there wasn't really a plan B. I don't recall when that happened. Sean questioned that in our meeting on Tuesday.
Right. I think, did Oliver say in the meeting that there was no plan B, or was that you that said that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember him, trying to correct both of you at different points.
I could be slightly misremembering, but it is clear from all the public meetings that there's no other location that they
haven't looked at anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they've gotten on GIS and figured out where 15 acres in Iowa City is.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like any of us can do that, but
I do that all the time.
I do too. It's so fun.
Just in case I have the opportunity to purchase 15 acres of...
In case you want to build a jail.
Yeah. A private jail.
A joint law enforcement facility in jail.
I'm trying to build one that it's just mine.
I don't like that.
You don't want me?
I'm an abolitionist.
You don't want me to run a private prison?
I don't. No.
I would do it right though, because I.
Nice try.
All right. So I did want to make sure we mentioned that the mayor was opposed to that particular location. I don't know if any conversations happened around that, like why he didn't like that location.
Well, what he said publicly at a meeting, I don't know when, probably in February, maybe because we authorized this study to kind of combine the police department space needs and the jail, what is called a space needs study, but I kind of question if that's really what that document is. In any event, to kind of put those two together, right? And so we kicked some dollars towards that process, and at that time, the mayor made clear he didn't like that location, and he said something like it doesn't reflect the values of Iowa City.
Okay, and that location is like it's like right over there,
that
right?
Location is right over there, but people can't see where you're pointing. Yeah. So it is the southeast corner of the intersection of Riverside Drive and Highway 6.
Mm-hmm.
Riverside Drive? Gilbert.
No, I think it's Riverside, isn't it?
Okay. All this time, and I didn't even know where we were talking about?
Well, I mean...
It's immediately at the river. Yeah.
You don't need to know the names of streets around
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
I always forget where I am by name. Like, I could go there.
Oh.
I just couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
Same.
So I think that's an interesting, like...
It's definitely Riverside Drive, not Gilbert. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, it is. But I think that's an interesting, I guess, mindset about it. Like, he's okay with this building existing, but not there. Why can't it be there? Well, and it doesn't reflect the values. Like, it doesn't reflect our values to have this huge jail right here.
I think it might be the same reason that Shive Hattery, in their presentation to the CJCC on August 14th, the Shive Hattery architect said, basically, don't worry, you can't see that it's a jail. There's sort of an exterior wall that looks like any normal civic building, I believe is what he said.
Okay.
And also appalling because what? Like, yeah, you're acknowledging we should be ashamed of the fact that we have this facility, right?
All these statements like really betray that, like, this is bad. Right?
Yes, this is bad. This is bad. And it's just so incurious to not go any deeper than that when we're talking about $110 million.
If you feel that its presence, its visual presence would be like a negative factor for that part of town, like, why though? Mm-hmm. It's not just that it looks bad or like it makes people feel bad. Like, why? Why does it make people feel bad that this could be right here? Like, you know where the Oakdale prison is, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been building up like more like retail stuff around there. Mm-hmm. It feels so weird.
Yeah, it does.
It's so weird over there.
I don't know. Razor wire and PetSmart, they go together in my mind.
Like miles and miles of razor wire. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. And yeah, the reason for that is that, we probably ultimately shouldn't be doing this with people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Another thing that the mayor said that I felt kind of betrayed a deeper inkling that this is wrong is that as he was discussing how he didn't like the proposed location, I think he felt like he was maybe giving the impression that he might vote no.
Yeah.
And he said at some point, I don't want to give false hope.
Yeah, I don't want to give people's hopes
up.
Something like that.
He made it clear that, I am going to vote to proceed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that word hope, so that had you voted against it, that would have provided hope to a lot of people who are listening, and that you are then not giving them that.
Yeah,
that's not good.
No.
I don't know. I feel like
I've had a lot of lengthy conversations with Bruce Teague about policing and the carceral system, and he just really, really, truly believes there is no other option.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, and which I think is that's sad. Sad to think that's necessary for our world.
Yeah, it's. I think that's what I was kind of getting at with the Sean Harmson thing. Like, you, Laura, are very you wear your feelings about this on your sleeve. Like you are very honest about what you think the future should look like in this area, and I guess what I get from Sean is I think I used the word thoughtful before. He portrays himself as I'm just as progressive as Laura Bergus is. I just I'm more pragmatic. I think more realistically about this situation, but I just don't think that if your inclination is to read off a list of charges in a public meeting for people being held in the jail to defend the necessity of prison, you're not, man. You're not.
No.
as forward thinking, you're not as progressive as people who are speaking out against incarceration and policing in general.
Well, and even as recently as Tuesday, so I started actually saying more stuff publicly on Monday or Tuesday on Facebook, and Lonnie Polkravic, the former sheriff, weighed in and basically said, you should want people to work and be housed in a safe environment. And that was amazing to me, because it's we're still having that conversation. If you're still talking to me about the poop dripping from the ceiling, and our only alternative is a $110 million facility.
I know.
I really believe that you're smarter than that. I want to believe that.
Yeah.
But that's where you take the conversation. Then I'm still just going to be over here knocking doors, talking about caring for people.
Yeah. Well, I think that leads into another thing I wanted to make sure we talk about. The condition of the jail is how they're selling the necessity of a new jail.
Right.
It's not safe for the people who work there, the people who are locked up there.
Right.
And that's true. It's not. There's a lot of reasons it's not. I think a big reason is that they don't care about the people who are incarcerated there. But despite the deteriorating conditions, and it's been unacceptable
for a very long time,
most of the time,
decades,
it's been
I think. Yeah.
Despite that, bond measures to build a new facility have failed multiple times.
Yes.
And the threshold for that is 60%. And it's failed. Is it twice it's failed on the ballot?
It's failed 5 out of 6 times.
That's
since 1977.
Okay,
yep.
It's going further back than I was aware of. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So that's, I think, well, and he made it explicit. Brad did in that letter that the reason they were going for this joint thing is that would lower the threshold.
Right.
They would only have to get a 50% vote to make that facility happen. Why is that? Why would that lower the threshold?
It's just what the law says. It's just the way this joint authority is. I mean, everything's made up.
Well, yeah.
So,
So
the Iowa legislature decided if 2 governmental entities wanted to join together to make a joint facility, and it doesn't have to be for law enforcement, right? It could be a school, it could be a rec center, could be whatever.
Yeah.
Public works facility, right? That if they needed to go to the voters to fund it, then they could use this mechanism.
And that's based on how much it would cost, right? That's why it would have to go to the ballot.
And different types of government and different fiscal conditions of the individual governments would dictate at what point you would need to go ask the voters. Iowa City builds up a lot of cash, and so we would probably have more leeway than a lot of other communities before we would have to put something on the ballot.
Right. Because you're asking for more tax money to do it. Okay. So yeah, for some reason, state law means that then you have to get less approval from the public to make it happen.
And the last two ballot measures relating to a new jail did pass by more than 50%, but less than 60.
Right. I'm honestly shocked that the state has not changed that yet to make building prisons easier. But I guess
they're going to listen to this, and I'm sure they will next session.
I'll cut that. No, they don't listen. Well, maybe they do listen to this. I don't know. Yeah, I guess another argument that was made during the council meeting is that that's anti-democratic to require a 60% vote for something like that.
I mean, you can make the argument that many laws are anti-democratic. Okay, they're also the ones we have. Have you lobbied the legislature to lower that? I don't know.
Yeah, if you want a prison so bad.
I'm just trying to be pragmatic. So,
yeah, if you want a prison so bad, go lobby for it.
Correct.
Go talk to the state legislators, ask them to change the state code to make it easier to ask the taxpayers for money to build jails. How would that look?
Well, in this environment, careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Okay. The 3-person commission thing that would have to be formed to proceed here. One person would be appointed by you guys, the city council.
Yeah. And just to be clear, because I am a nerd and a lawyer, it says elected. So I asked the assistant county attorney, who supposedly walked us all through this law, what that meant, and he had no idea. But elected. So one
elected
person
rather than appointed
by us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it was an appointment, that would be something that the 7 of you vote on anyway, right?
Correct. Yes. I think that's how we would elect them.
So
too.
I guess it's an election of sorts.
Right. Just like
very
we
small
elect the
election.
mayor by
Yeah. You're holding elections every time you vote.
There you go.
I guess.
Yep.
And then
It could just be sloppy drafting, but that never happens with the Iowa legislature.
no. So one person elected by the city council,
Mm-hmm.
one person elected by the county supervisors, one person where both entities have to agree
Yes.
to elect the third person.
Yes.
Remember, there was a deadline of October 1st
Mm-hmm.
put forward to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, what I heard was, once one person's been elected to this
Mm-hmm.
commission, you then have 60 days to agree on the third person that you're putting up.
Essentially, yeah.
If it doesn't happen, then the governor could step in and appoint the third person.
I don't know any reason why folks in Johnson County or Iowa City would be concerned about Kim Reynolds making an appointment to a commission to oversee a joint law enforcement facility.
Yeah, I can't imagine why specifically anyone on the Johnson County Board of Supervisors
Yeah.
might be worried about the state
No.
government stepping in and inserting themselves
Yeah.
into a county.
Doesn't
commission.
seem like a problem at all.
Yeah, that was just like really shocking to me. Like, why would you ever even take one step forward
Thank you.
down that
Thank you.
down that path?
Well, and like, so go, if, like, we're talking about this again, trying to be pragmatic, which again, I'm not. I'm a radical who lives in like La La Land.
Everything
But-
you want is just crazy and impossible.
I know. But myself, John Green, and Brad Kunkel are standing outside some meeting within the last 2 weeks because everything's happened really recently.
Yeah.
And Brad is asking me, like, what would it take to get to yes or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, there's just so many hurdles, like, even before you could ever get there, And I said to John, like, who would we actually appoint? Who in this community could we possibly agree on?
Yeah.
Like, appointing people is so fraught, right? And like, we've had some really intense appointments to commissions. So
Can you think of any
you
in
may
particular?
be familiar. I don't know. Possibly the subject of some podcast episode.
I think we mentioned
somewhere.
the year 2022 at the
We
beginning.
might
of
have
this.
mentioned the year 2022. Huh. Weird. Anyway, yeah, that's a really, really, and like
I
this
seem
is
to recall
such-
that being though also involving the county and the city, elected officials from both,
Whoa.
in conflict too.
Just deja vu. But when I said that to John, his response was something like, I'm not as connected in the community as some folks are, so I don't know. And then he was like, but I think for us, it would be a supervisor. And then he said to me yesterday that it would be Lisa. Okay.
She would be their
Appointee.
person.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. But that doesn't answer my question as to who we would agree on. Like,
yeah. Like
I don't know. Can you think of a person?
it would require like a majority of both
Yes.
the city council and the board of
Yes.
supervisors, right?
Yes.
And yeah, there's also a weird thing here where there's like a bit of a urban rural divide around here. So, like there's some resentment that like Iowa City dominates the politics of Johnson County as a
Right.
whole. And so like these two governmental entities trying to find one person who like both sides of that divide are cool with seems very unlikely.
And the law requires that these commissioners not be paid, which I think is like kind of asking a lot. They probably wouldn't have to do much after the first year or whatever, but like the intensity of that political process to negotiate the lease and figure out all the shit,
Yeah.
like,
So it's got to be somebody who has like some experience in
or at least free
serious
time.
matters. Well, yeah. and
Well, is that a prerequisite, Justin?
I mean, maybe not legally, but it seems like you would want somebody who's able to
I feel
do
that
these
way
things.
about every person who runs for office and or is appointed into any kind of public service, but it doesn't seem to be that others share that view.
Wait, what was your view? Well, just so we can be
My view
clear
is
about
that,
this.
like people who have some experience doing important things or something like that.
Yeah. It should be
Not
people who have-
bozos. That's my threshold.
Yeah.
It's not met all the time though.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's a
Yeah, there's a lot
there's
of
only
bozos.
so many.
I know.
Only so many people out there who fit the bill.
I know.
Yeah. And I guess that's the problem that you would run into here
Yeah.
trying to fill this.
Yeah.
It's like who would want to do it, and that everyone would be cool.
like who would
with
be willing
doing
to
it.
sign up for that?
Who do we
Have the
trust with
time
that?
and energy
Yeah.
to do it, and who would we trust to do it? Like
Right.
it's
a lot of work, and you're not being paid, and like it's a huge deal. Like the thing that's the end result is like
Huge deal.
yeah. Even if you take like the moral aspects out of it, it's
Yep.
like this is a 9-figure
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So what do you think's going to happen?
I mean, that's the real question, right? Like, what is going to happen? I think, the board and the city, I think, should probably revisit this, right? Like, we both have voted to continue conversations.
Well, yeah, that's another question is like, I believe that the reason the county pursued this is because the sheriff wanted them to.
I believe
right?
that too.
This was his idea, I think.
Yeah, but like, technically, they could choose to go forward.
Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Probably not.
I don't think they would.
But yeah, I just found it
But I
strange
think we need to address that.
it's very strange that both sides of this did vote to
Yes.
keep going, and then one guy said, I don't want to do it anymore.
Right. And
So,
you and I
so
are
does
both,
that mean like it's done?
we're both assuming that ultimately that's what it will mean, right?
Yeah.
But I do think there needs to be some kind of formal acknowledgement,
Yeah.
like we directed our staff.
Exactly, yeah.
So like we need to probably direct
So
them
what are they doing?
to stop or have another vote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because the state of things now is that you directed them to
Yes.
pursue this.
Yes.
And like that that takes time and money too. even
Yeah.
to do
I mean,
that
I
work.
think, again, good pragmatic people who are probably going to hold off on
Yeah,
doing
right.
that work for right now.
they read the news as well.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah, it was great. I got a group text to myself and Sean Harmson from Jeff Fruin
yeah.
that just said, for your knowledge, for your understanding, something like that, with a screenshot of the letter from Brad. So I just replied, huh.
Yeah. So Jeff texted you and Sean and no one else?
Well,
Does
he
that
has to.
mean
He has to. No. I don't know. I've often wanted to ask him.
I just want to read too much into things.
Please do. No, I've often wanted to ask him how he decides, because he can't text more than he texts only 2 or 3 counselors at a time, right?
That's
so
like a
there's no
quorum thing,
quorum.
right?
Yeah, but I don't know how he decides what.
It's funny if he actually like has some sort of like random
I mean,
process.
I would if I was him. Yeah.
Just to like make sure there's no implication
Correct.
of like who I'm grouping together.
It's just like roll call. I don't know if you noticed during
Yeah,
the meetings,
yeah.
like the roll call is like, it always rotates, like every single vote.
Mhm.
It rotates.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, it seems silly and arbitrary, but it's like, some people might read too much into it, There's a lot of ego involved with
No.
politics and
No.
stuff like that.
Why are you making me so sarcastic this entire time?
Well, I'll ask you directly then. Do you feel like you have any sort of like ego or narcissism involved with your like, seeking public office? How long have you been
I've
on
been
the council?
since 2020, January 2020.
Okay.
It's my 6th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you have like a hunger for power?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, clearly. Yeah. To then share it out to other people. So yes. No, I everyone you have to have an ego if you're going to undertake a literal popularity contest that's
Right.
about you.
Right.
But or a lot of self-hatred, which maybe was where I was coming from. Had something to prove? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I can, despite all of my flaws,
Yeah.
I can succeed.
I've never
in
been
this
good enough
arena.
for you, Mom, but I can win this election. Yep.
Do you have a fraught relationship with your mother?
I haven't talked to my mom since 2012.
Really? Okay.
So, yes.
I didn't know that.
I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't because my podcast ended, though.
If people wanted to listen to your podcast, where should they go?
There's just a couple episodes out there. It's
Yeah.
called Legal Geekery.
Yeah.
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 It-
Laura told me like right before we started recording that she used to do
Yeah.
a podcast, which I didn't know.
It's because you were like, how do you know that's an XLR?
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't, I know.
I did think it, but I didn't say it.
But I actually know that from my time videoing city council meetings and doing video production.
Oh, okay.
When I was a teen.
Oh, I didn't know you did that either.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That's how I knew I could run for office, because bozos.
You saw a lot of people doing it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like a big hurdle, and it is in a lot of ways, but it's like if you really get to know these people, and I don't even necessarily mean that as like an insult to elected officials, but like they are just kind of
normal fucking folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, especially at this, local level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's people, and there's a lot of good and a lot of bad associated with that.
Yeah.
I wish that you were all like infallible
robots
and stuff, but
I know. Yeah. I wish that about cops, right? I
Yeah.
wish they weren't people, like with all their flaws.
okay. So artificial intelligence has made a lot of progress over the past couple years.
No.
What do you think?
No.
AI law enforcement?
Please no.
Take the human element out of it.
Isn't that what Flock is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the utopia. Langley's utopia is like mass surveillance, set some programs up, it'll take care of everything.
Is he like an accelerationist? Like he wants to get rid of humans?
Maybe. I mean, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it does. Awkward.
Yeah. Just let the cameras catch the crime. Maybe there's like trapdoors in the streets that just that are automatically triggered, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with like a Sarlacc pit underneath.
Yeah. And that also, I mean, I think what everyone should be concerned about is how dangerous enforcing the law is for the law enforcement officer. So if you don't if a person doesn't have to step in and intervene ever,
Yeah.
that's also a benefit.
Do you think Sarlaccs would have qualified immunity? Is that too far off of the topic?
No, I think that's great.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's as
Are
a person who's read a lot of Wikipedia pages.
Are they sentient?
I was about to say, I don't think they are,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I don't have really proof of that. Like, I don't think they can speak. That's not necessarily evidence or proof that they're not sentient, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
as far as I know, it was just like a wild animal, basically.
I mean, wild animals could be sentient. Have you met
What's
dolphins?
your threshold for sentience?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, isn't sentient just like self-aware on some
I think
level?
so. Yeah. So like, I think the issue is like communication between species. Like,
Oh,
our pets can't really prove to us that they're self-aware, so we don't know if they're sentient.
but like dogs have object permanence, right? Like they can look in
Seems
a
like
mirror and like know that
Yeah.
that's them and then like look around it. And
Yeah.
this is on your list of questions. I love it.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right
Okay,
here in the
good.
document. We have almost
I do
done
think
an hour, but
Brad Kunkel is sentient. You didn't ask the question, but I just thought I would go ahead and put it out
it
there.
was implied the whole
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, I mean, the question was implied, not the answer.
Yeah.
The people did want to know
Yeah,
that you believe that.
I do.
Since we brought up Supervisor John Green a few times, he was involved in this whole thing. I did want to, I don't think that you've been asked by the media about this. At least I haven't seen your name in any of the news pieces I read, but John Green has made international news over the past couple weeks. Not even couple weeks.
No.
That was
a week.
1 week ago.
It was 1 fucking week ago.
So, again, I'm not trying to bait you into saying anything that might get you in real trouble, but
Are we talking real trouble, like the people who are being fired at the University of Iowa for their social media accounts?
stuff like that.
Cool.
Has anyone at this university been fired for that yet?
I don't know. I just
I
read
haven't
what
heard
the
anything.
regents yesterday are looking
Yeah,
into.
they've been directed to investigate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
But the governor of this state ordered that flags be flown at half staff.
Yes.
Because of the assassination last week.
Yes.
And Supervisor Green, who is the chair of the Board of Supervisors currently,
Yes.
he defied the order and instructed county flagpoles to fly
Be
as
normal.
usual.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, got a lot of attention because that seems like he's the only person who said no to that. And this is happening in other states too, of course. It's been a weird week of national forced mourning for somebody that a lot of people weren't aware of, and clearly not everyone is on the same page about.
Okay, I literally got a text message. This is so embarrassing. Someone said, "Oh my God, Charlie Kirk died, or was killed, or something like that."
Yeah.
And my response was, "Is that the person they pulled out at the Terry Trueblood Lake?"
Right.
And then I had to stop. And then I was like, "Oh no, I do know who that person is." It's not, because unfortunately there was someone who died locally.
Right. Yeah. And I
on
mean,
the same day.
it makes a lot more sense for somebody to be texting you about that.
Yeah,
think.
I thought so.
I don't think, I mean, it is a big deal that it happened, of course. Not necessarily to the level of every person has to check in with every other person they know about this.
Yeah, thank you. That seems rational to me, but
Yeah. So Yeah, a lot of attention on John. He's received a lot of nasty emails and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, how you feel about his decision to do that.
I think I'm cool with his decision to do it.
Yeah.
I think I have opinions about what happened after like the first day where I didn't really understand the need to keep pushing the news cycle.
Yeah.
It was like, we're going to have lots of hills we need to die on in the next few years. Right.
Yeah.
And it just felt like kind of a strange one to put so much energy and attention into. And I know, like, I'm not saying like all of that was his choice, right? Like when things go viral, they take on that life of their own.
Yeah.
But
it did seem like he kind of liked the attention, but
definitely. Yeah. And I think, it had potential real repercussions. Like I was talking with someone who said, like, I had a meeting with another supervisor who couldn't meet with me because they were getting a security system installed on their house. And it's like, that sucks,
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. A lot of it's like not in anyone's control.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how I feel honestly about the whole thing, because it's like, I think it's right to make a stand against such a weird forced thing.
Yeah.
And like somebody should like just say no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's like, does anyone really care about where the flag's at? Some people clearly really do, but
well, and like that night when that news first broke, I was walking with a friend that Friday night, and we were down by the IMU, and the flags were fully up, which is definitely a state of Iowa building.
Yo, yeah.
So I was like, okay, like I don't think everybody got the memo, and like who really, like I don't know who really cares. I don't know who really cares.
Yeah.
But yeah, John had reached out to me like, did Jeff get a hold of you guys? You need to be careful. I'm like, friend, I have been a very public woman on the internet for a very long time. I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that like a regular thing for you? Maybe like bad emails?
Not
threats?
That, not direct threats of violence. I think, we were talking about my podcast before, right? Like I have been someone who has intentionally been on the internet with my real identity and not like hidden any of that forever. So I think just like duration of exposure, you get some fucky stuff, but I never felt like anything was credible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just the flag thing in general, like they're kind of always going up and down.
Right?
And I don't feel like
I never know why.
Like,
I never really know why. Like
I don't feel like most people have even like cast a second glance at them.
No, there was some Jimmy Carter kerfluffle or something, but like I don't know.
I don't even remember.
See, exactly.
Yeah, it's just
it almost is like it didn't really directly impact our lives.
No,
weird.
I'm not the person who has to put it up and down.
Were they saved energy, or did it take more energy?
Well, yeah, somebody took it upon themselves to take the flag down at the county admin building. So then an employee had to go back out and put it up again. So there's that.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't
realize that happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that happened like on Saturday.
Okay.
Somebody put it back.
Well, that's something. That's like an impact I never even thought about, was like how he addressed it with employees. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know either. But that's also like, even if you care deeply about the person who was killed, like that seems like you're trivializing it so much to like battle over like 10 feet of where a flag is flying. It's like cartoonish.
Yeah. How do they know when it's exactly halfway?
I bet they mark it on the rope.
That's smart. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of how we do it in theaters. If something needs to come down to a certain exact spot, you got like a piece of tape on the rope. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm just guessing, from my experience with ropes. That's pretty much the extent of my experience with ropes, is just at work. Just in case anyone wants to, again, read too much into that.
Lovely.
Well, we have exceeded an hour, which is my usual podcast duration. So
cool.
I think we got through a lot there. So I'm sure there's a lot left unsaid.
I'm really sorry for my sense of humor, Justin.
Oh, what are you sorry about?
I don't know. It's just really fucking deadpan today.
Oh, no,
So,
it's great.
Okay.
It's great. I
All
like
right.
that. We had a couple laugh out loud
That's
moments
true.
too. So.
Yeah. Okay. It was a mix.
Yeah. Deadpan's great.
Okay.
You, the listener, should be laughing. Not necessarily the people that you're listening to.
Yeah. I don't want to distort your audio.
Yeah, we don't.
So,
We don't need each other's like affirmations here with
correct.
the laughter.
Yes. Thank you.
We're confident enough in
Yeah.
our
Wow. Good synergy.
yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to get out there before we go off the record?
No, but if
All
you
right.
ask me anything, I guess. No.
If people wanted to learn more about anything from you, what's the best way to talk to you?
I mean, the best way is to contact me on my cellular telephone.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is all over the internet.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you like me to say it out loud?
I mean, it's up to you. If you
319-541-9677.
Okay. Great.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Great. While you're doing that, I mean, we have a phone number too. 319-849-8733 is the Rock Hard hotline. It's not really a hotline. It's just a voicemail inbox, but
Yeah.
you can call Laura first or text.
Yeah.
You prefer text, I assume?
I prefer text because then I'm so embarrassed and ashamed when my voicemail box is full.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I just
I bet
text
that happens
me.
a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Because I like keeping messages
Ah,
for
yeah.
laughs later.
Yeah. I think I broke my voicemail on my personal phone, by the way, from not deleting stuff.
Yeah.
It just
Anyway,
is
but yes, people can reach out anytime.
Great. Well, thanks for being up for this.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I think this was productive.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right. See ya. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Laura Bergus. And now it's time for me to do the plugs that I was too shy to do in front of Laura. Once again, our phone number is 319-849-8733. We'd love for you to call in anytime. We have been getting a few more voicemails in the past week or two, so hopefully Evan and I might have enough material to work with to record an episode of Rock Hard Call Us in the near future. You can, of course, accelerate the timeline there if you yourself call in 319-849-8733. Do you think that a big mega jail is a good idea? Call in and argue with us about it. Why not? Speaking of Rock Hard Call Us, you can find all previous episodes of that series at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus, along with a new episode of Speed Freak Read Speak that Tony and I released just a few days ago, where we read a Sonic the Hedgehog fanfic by a dead man, which was written in 1995. So that's kind of an interesting little piece of historical culture, I would call that. It was fun. We were honoring someone's memory who was creative in a pretty unusual way. So, maybe you're interested in that. Patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. And by going there and subscribing, you, of course, support the continued existence of this podcast, which is a moral imperative. Speaking of moral imperatives, Coralville City Council will be meeting this week. I personally cannot attend, but if you live in Coralville, especially, this is super relevant to you. A representative from Flock Safety, I guess, will be participating in the meeting in some fashion. So if you have concerns about mass surveillance, the logging of every vehicle that passes through Coralville, that then goes into a database sort of maintained by a big tech company, accessible by law enforcement agencies all around the country for who knows what kind of nefarious purposes. Look, I can go on and on. I think that's bad. If you think it's bad, maybe you should consider going into the city council meeting this week and speaking to them about that. I would appreciate you doing that. And I know of two candidates running for office here in Coralville for the city election that happens this November who are themselves very opposed to Flock Safety license plate cameras. That would be Ryan Swenka for mayor. His website is ryanforcoralville.com. And Katie Freeman, who is running for city council. I support both of them. They're cool. They're good. They like good things and they want good things to happen. Katie, by the way, is on Instagram at Freeman4Coralville, and that's the number 4. Ryan's website is Ryan4Coralville, FOR. Katie's Instagram is Freeman4Coralville, the number 4. both worthy of your time and attention. Also worthy of your time and attention, live music. I'm playing a show this coming Saturday, September 27th at Trumpet Blossom Cafe in Iowa City. My duo Weapon X with Will Yeager. We will be joining a bill along with Moscow Puzzles, which is kind of like a post-rock guitar and drums duo. Grain Bin Operettas, which is a solo electric cello outfit. Outfit's a weird word for that. Whatever. And the three of us are all kind of, locals, and we're opening for a jazz trio from New York City called Filament. So it's a big bill. Trumpet Blossom this Saturday, September 27th. Love to see you there. And speaking of Moscow Puzzles, I realized I had not downloaded their most recent album, which you can find at moscowpuzzles.bandcamp.com. And I'm going to play a little sample from it right now, from the closing track on their latest album. The closing track is called Every Tongue Will Confess, and I forgot what the album's called. It's called Vast Space of the Interior. So here's a little bit of Every Tongue Will Confess from Vast Space of the Interior by Moscow Puzzles, who you can come see on Saturday, September 27th at Trumpet Blossom, along with me and Will Yeager, Weapon X, Grain Bin Operettas, and Filament. All right, that's enough yapping. Goodbye. Goodbye for real this time.